Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through the closing chapter on Koharu's route. After staying the night at Haruki's apartment yet again, the first of a few nights in a row on vacation, they've made their way back to Goody's restaurant.
わかってます。北原さんとまでは言いません。ただ、杉浦さんを手放さないようにしてほしいだけで。
それを俺に言われても困るんだけど。
彼女、ホールスタッフの能力は当然なんすけど、あの真面目さが他のホールの子たちにいい影響を与えてくれるんですよね。
何の訂正もしないまま、それはさておきするなよ。
中川さんがああいう人望あるけど放任な子なんで、その下で彼女がサブっぽい役割してくれると、うちの店もいい感じで回るかななんて。
まあ生まれながらの委員長だからうまいこと補い合ってるかもな。
北原さんがしっかり育ててくれたおかげで、うまくミニ北原さんみたいになってくれたっすよね。働き的にも思想的にもサイズ的にも、それから
後半に行くに従ってどんどん各方面に失礼になってきてるぞ。
Just a little bit rude.
とにかくよろしくお願いしますよ。彼女、北原さんが口説きさえすればここに残ってくれると思うんで。
He's basically saying don't mess this up because I know she'll quit.
人の話を聞けよ。
ねえねえ小春ち、その呼び方やめてくださいって。あれほどだいたい今は仕事中ですよ。ちゃんと暇作ってから話してるからいいじゃん。北原さん、やっと戻ってきたね。大学が春休みに入ったそうですから、羨ましいですね。春休みが1月以上もあるなんて。よかったね小春ち、これから毎日ラブラブじゃん。どうしてそういう論理展開になるのかはさておき、私はまだ学校ありますから、卒業式までまだ2週間は授業です。あいたー。じゃあ週末だけラブラブだね。更衣室でイチャイチャなんかしちゃったりして。
So embarrassing. I hope to goodness they're not actually standing in front of all those customers.
勤務先を男あさりの場みたいに言わないでください。不謹慎です。じゃあ卒業したらラブラブだね。ついでに春から同じキャンパスでラブラブ。いい加減ラブラブから離れてください。そんな明るく楽しい恋愛なんか全然してませんから。なんか余裕であしらうね。前はもっと切羽詰まってて、北原さん絡むとギラギラしてたのに。いい加減チーフの的外れな詮索に対して真面目に否定するのに飽きただけです。もしかしてうまくいっちゃった？本命彼女としての余裕？違います。責任持って完全否定します。あ、キスマークメッケ。
Oh, jeez.
昨日蚊が出たんですよ、この真冬に。それいくらなんでも思いっきり嘘でしょ。キスマークってのも嘘ですよね。ガード硬いな小春っち。
She's trying.
ガードも何も私にそういう事情はありません。あしからず。もう中川さんってば疑り深いんだから。
その割にはうまくあしらってたな。
You really shouldn't have to cover it up. She just proclaimed that she would surely cut her hands if she did it while talking, so I ended up cutting the ingredients while Koharu watches over the pot. And after hearing her out, it became evident that Koharu actually doesn't have much cooking experience at all. After which I decided to take the safe route and settle with making curry, which I'm most confident in.
いろいろなツッコミを想定してあらかじめ答えを用意してるんです。ちゃんとメモに取って暗記して。
そこまでするのもどうかと思うけど。
私突発的な嘘は苦手なんですよ。先輩の境地にはなかなか至らないです。あ、沸騰してきましたよ。
Also, that is not a compliment. Don't be the best liar. Don't be a liar at all.
至るな。それは間違った成長だ。
よしっと。これでしばらくは煮込むだけですね。
アクをすくうことを忘れるな。ずっと鍋見張ってろ。俺はサラダを作る。
はい、お任せください。
Up until now, she has shown how capable she is on various occasions, like in sports, studying, and in her part-time job. But now I've found something she's below average in. Well, hey, I mean, she's still young. She can still learn how to cook. Honestly, if they let her into the kitchen at Goodies a little bit, she could improve really quickly. Well, it's simply due to a lack of experience. If she got serious, I'm sure she'd surpass me in a week.
バイト楽しいか？
はい、だいぶ馴染んできました。
みたいだな。
The fact that Koharu still doesn't miss any of her shifts, even while she's staying over at my place, demonstrates just how diligent she is.
最初は旅行の資金作りが目的だったんですけど、今は手段と目的が入れ替わってる気がします。
そっか。
Her strong sense of responsibility is probably one of the reasons why that's the case, though I can feel as if that's not all there is to it while she's working. Notably, she's been letting out more frequent, natural smiles after work is over, which is something that's quite rare recently.
だってもう目的の方はなくなっちゃったし。なんでもありませんよーだ。
It worries me how she immediately puts on her unnatural smile whenever she lets her guard down.
中川さんは性格に難ありだけど可愛がってくれるし頼りになるし、他の人たちともだいぶ気軽に話せるようになったし。ただちょっと言いたいこともあるんですよね。私よりキャリアが長い人ばかりなのに、なんか向上心がないというか腰掛け的というか。
そういう指摘はほどほどにしとけよ。ほとんどの子たちが単なる小遣い稼ぎなんだよ。
私だってそうですよ。
誰もが自分と同じと思わない方がいい。
It was a wall I crashed into about a year ago.
全部自分の思い通りにしようとしても無駄な圧力を生むだけだ。ある程度は時間かけないと。
That's some good advice. In any case, it took me about a half a year before I could properly balance my idea of reward and punishment. And even then, I've been told that I'm oppressively restricting myself.
でもな、3ヶ月休日働いてるだけでこんなに色々と見えてきちゃうんだな。
小春は身長の割に目線が高いからな。
Wow.
そうやってすぐ身長で落とすのやめてください。ちゃんとクラスの整列でも前に3人います。
いいじゃないか。頭撫でやすい。
実践も伴わずに怪獣できると思わないでください。
悪かった。ほら。
濡れた手で頭触らないように。
Still, I'm glad. It seems she's in a much better mood compared to how she was yesterday. I've had to bear witness to just how emotionally volatile she's been while I've been meeting her during the weekends lately. But the fact that she still has this place to return to is reassuring. And although she hasn't gone out of her way to avoid talking to me today, I can actually feel that she's truly enjoying herself while she's at Goodies, and it's something that's meant from her heart, not only her words.
不満がないわけじゃないけど、本当に楽しいんです。だからこそ自分が嫌になることもあるけど。
だからみんなにあまり厳しいこと言うなって。
違います。そういうのじゃないんです。
じゃあ何を？
そんな楽しくて好きな仲間たちにも平気で嘘をつく自分がです。例えばですね、こうして今先輩の部屋に泊まってるくせにみんなには何もないってしれっと言うんですよ。
それはそんなの俺だって。
でもそうやって堂々と嘘をつくようになってから 逆にみんな信じてくれるようになってきたと思います。
That's indeed. My relationship with Koharu was initially rumored to be more or less confirmed, but I've noticed that it's become more of a running gag lately.
嘘をつくときは堂々としてるのって重要みたいですね。私、本質的には嘘つきなのかもしれません。
Perhaps everything that has transpired is the result of us sweeping the topic under the rug with, okay, let's just get back to work. And the fact that neither of us have gone out of our way to deny it.
先輩と同じで。
ごめん。
It's just as Koharu said. She's a liar right now.
いえ、私こそごめんなさい。何もそこで先輩を引き合いに出すことないのに。
And she's lying to just about everyone. Whether it be her close friends, people that she could put her faith in, or even the very person she says she loves without hesitation. She can lie to them without batting an eyelid.
そっちを謝ったんじゃないよ。
先輩？
俺のせいで嘘つきになってしまったこと。
Honestly, that's kinda true. If not for the fact that I was so close to her, she wouldn't have needed to tell all the lies she did. And through me, Koharu's gradually become really good at lying. Before I realized it, the cutting sound of the knife on the chopping board disappeared. The hot pot was filled with cold vegetables, so the water will take some time to boil again. A moment of silence passed in the kitchen. Now that I think about it, wasn't it because of Kazusa that I became a liar? I wasn't able to control my feelings for her. But the way she distanced herself so far away from me after inching the slightest bit closer only served to shake me to the core. Every time I tried to give up, and every time I hoped that such feelings would just disappear on their own, she cluelessly went out of her way to distance herself from me. No, it wasn't clueless. Actually, she distanced herself because she didn't want to hurt her good friends. And that's why, time after time, I've lied so horribly to the girl I loved and just started dating, to Setsuna. In other words, perhaps I really have become good at lying, but I haven't grown as a person at all.
先輩、今何を考えてますか？
小春のこと。
Don't lie again.
言ったそばから嘘つき。
ごめんな。
I realized that Koharu is trying her best to stand on her tiptoes as she's facing me, because I could feel her entire weight through her two hands on my shoulders. That's why I naturally tilt my head to the side, leaning forward ever so slightly towards Koharu's exposed forehead, in order to reach the same height as her lips.
そして私も嘘つき。
小春。
今先輩とこんなことしてるのに、みんなには何もないってしれっと言うんですよ。嘘つき同士、せめて今だけは自分を責めるのやめにしません？
小春がそれを望むなら。
私が今望んでるのはとりあえず続きです。
料理中にこういうことするのってなんというかお約束が過ぎるな。
大丈夫、ちゃんと耳だけは鍋に向けておきますから。だから吹いてくるまでは 続けてください。先輩。
Oh man, they've gotta fix this. The longer they let this continue and the longer they normalize lying to themselves and to each other, not gonna be good. So welcome back. Haruki and Koharu ended up having some adult time together while they were cooking, and then we arrive here. Koharu is currently in the shower, and Haruki's received a text message. Thank you. I received your present today, Haruki-kun. Thank you for the really wonderful pair of earrings. I'll treasure them. Even though I didn't give you a present in exchange for the one you gave me for Christmas, you still sent me another one. I'm so sorry for always being on the receiving end. Even though it was all my fault, and even though I did such a terrible thing to you back then, even so, the moment I realized that you still care about me, I was so happy that tears rolled down my cheeks. And this is where the misunderstandings come from. You need to slowly drift apart from these people, otherwise you're just stringing them along. I'm sorry. The fact that I'm making complaints in a text that was meant to express my gratitude makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it, Haruki-kun? Don't worry about the party. It was my mom's idea in the first place, and Io and Takeya came over anyway. Rather, I feel bad that even though you're busy working, we're having fun here. I challenged myself to make a cake this year, and roast beef too. Since it's my first try, I'm not sure if it'll go well. Please do your best at work too, Haruki-kun. Don't push yourself too hard and risk your health, okay? It's still cold after all. Well then, good night. Even though it was all my fault, she says. Even though I did such a terrible thing to you, she says. You're wrong, Setsuna. I'm the one at fault, and I'm the one who's done so many terrible things to you. That's the reason why I've decided to give you that present. I'm just the same as you. No, I'm far worse.
お先にいただきました。
As I remain on the bed with my arms around my knees and with my mobile phone still open. I wonder what kind of expression Koharu's making as she's looking at me. I'm not able to tell with only the faint light spilling from the bathroom door. So, welcome back. In the meantime, Haruki and Koharu had some more adult times. This time it was a lot more sad, though. Setsuna was brought up quite a few times, in a sense that, oh, senpai, you don't have to worry, like, I'm not jealous at all, and I wish, like, you could be there for her, but you're here with me, and I feel bad because you can't be with her now. And it was just that whole conversation in the middle of all that. Just very sad, very upsetting. Now we're back again at goodies.
大丈夫っすか？
いや、悪かった。作り直すから。
I cleaned up the scattered ingredients and threw away whatever was left in the garbage bin while I was at it. After washing the frying pan, I dry it by heating it up and pour a light splash of oil into it again. Then I take a new pack from the refrigerator, cut it open, and throw its contents into the pan. Today, I'm spending another monotonous day in the kitchen of goodies.
全部右手でやるの辛くないっすか？
Leaving aside the fact that I can't use my left hand. I must really lack muscular strength if I can't use my arm after something like that. I might even lose in an arm wrestling match with Koharu at this rate.
しばらく休憩してきていいっすよ。今のうちならなんとか持ちこたえますから。
It's rare that Haruki is out of it at work. That's how you know things in his mind and body are in turmoil.
いや、そういうわけにも。
人並みにしか使えない北原さんなら遠慮なく休んでもらっても大して痛くないっす。人並みにしか使えない時点で痛すぎるので。
悪い。 10分だけ。
Is it just simple muscle pain, or is my blood circulation not returned to normal? There are a lot of things on my mind right now, some of which I regret, particularly my decision to act tough and really provide her with my arm as a pillow up until morning. But I had no choice but to do it back then. More importantly, I wanted to do it back then. Man, you know, you don't have to let her use your arm as a pillow the whole night, just until she falls asleep and then pull it away. I close my eyes slowly as I recall the fact that I never managed to shut them throughout the previous night. How much time passed until Koharu finally managed to fall asleep soundly and peacefully after shutting her eyes with her head on my arm? I really couldn't tell while I was still in that eternal darkness. I wasn't sure if the quiet sounds coming from her were of her sleep talking, her heaving sobs, or just sniffling. Lovely, isn't that fun? I watched Koharu the whole time until morning, as I promised I would, alerted by even the slightest change of sound. To put it more accurately, I did so until Koharu had clearly woken up and pestered me for a good morning kiss. That's right, I didn't leave Koharu's side for even a moment last night. Thank you. I'm glad it has arrived safely. I suppose I should say that it's just a cheap trinket, as usual. I know it's a bit early, but happy birthday. I apologize that I can't even show up to celebrate an event that only happens once a year. You don't need to go to your ex's birthday party, I'm sorry. It's so weird to me. I feel a nauseous sensation rising in my chest from my own self-loathing. Although Koharu permits me to do this, I'm still doing it behind her back. Although I said I'm Koharu's until tomorrow, I'm still getting in touch with Setsuna through our written words. I know full well that I've done terrible things to both of them, but the guilt in me drives my fingers to continue typing on the keys of my phone. Roast beef, huh? Looks like you've gone and raised the bar. Isn't that a dish that's quite difficult to properly make? Now that you mention it, the first time I ate your handmade cooking was when you made your Hamburg steak, right, Setsuna? The truth is, I was actually nervous back then, as if it were a natural reaction, and though I can't really remember how it tasted anymore, I only remember I asked for seconds. What am I saying? It's strange of me to be suddenly talking about the past, isn't it? I actually don't even know what I want to say at this point. For now, I pray that your roast beef will turn out great. Talk to you later. The moment I pressed the send button, my line of sight became distorted, almost brutally so. It's not like I'm physically unwell. Everything other than my left arm is in the pink of health. The pink of health. I've never heard that expression before. Also, not getting a wink of sleep the night before doesn't exactly make you a shining example of good health. It's just because I watched over Koharu till morning as promised. I think I'm suffering from a slight lack of sleep. Oh yeah, just a slight one, you know, just 0 hours and 0 minutes of sleep, just slight.
先輩風邪ひきますよ。寝るならベッド行きましょうよ。それかせめて毛布くらいは。
The first thing my 5 senses picked up was a high-pitched voice that sounded like a bell, tickling my ears. The next came the scent of the spicy curry, which has been left simmering for a day. Oh, that sounds so good. After that, artificial light started to pierce my eyes, and soon my vision began to clear.
小春、
おはようございます、先輩。
寝ちゃってたのか、俺。今何時
？0時ちょっと前ですね。船を漕ぎ出してからはほんの10分ほどです。
Despite the fact that I was tormented by a horrible sleepiness, I at least made sure to do my best in the kitchen until the restaurant closed. After that, I cleaned up the place, returned to my apartment with Koharu under the guise of accompanying her to the station, and made a simple dinner from yesterday's leftovers. I don't have any memory of what happened after that.
ごめん。せっかく二人きりになれた途端に。
謝る必要ないです。二人きりには変わりないですから。
でも小春の相手をしてあげられなくて。あ、いや別に身も蓋もない理由じゃなくて。
そうやって変な言い訳をつけた方がかえって身も蓋もない理由に聞こえます。
He's not a pervert. Maybe just a little bit.
悪い。
It's not just because I was awake the whole time last night. It's because I've exhausted myself emotionally over a long series of trials. Though it's only been 3 days, I've been faced with the unbelievable reality of living with a girl. And with a suggestive reason. Maybe it's because my daily life has changed drastically, but I've been feeling incredibly fatigued these days, which is unthinkable for my usual self.
もう眠っていいんですよ。先輩の寝顔を見てるだけで満足ですし。
いや、いつもはこんな時間に寝たりしないし。
それに私と一緒にいることでリラックスしてくれてるって好意的に解釈することにします。
Oh, Koharu, you're too nice. You're way too nice.
本当は緊張しまくりで疲れたんだけどな。
じゃあ私と一緒にいることでドキドキしすぎたせいだって別の意味で好意的に解釈することにします。
それは好意的でも何でもなく事実だけど。
ほら、ベッドにどうぞ。今日は私が先輩のことずっと見てますから。なんなら腕枕しましょうか？
いや、あれはやめとけ。俺の心からの忠告だ。
He speaks from experience. After all, I still can't get rid of this numbness in my arm after half a day.
してもらった方としては、一度はやっとけって忠告したくなりますけどね。
Aww.
また今度な、今度。
Even so, if she were to say that again the way she did one more time, I don't have the confidence that I'll be able to refuse her again. After all, it's an embarrassing, captivating, and very important session of physical intimacy for the two of us.
いらっしゃい、先輩。
俺のベッドだ。
As I answer her brusquely in an attempt to hide my embarrassment, I embrace Koharu's waist as she welcomes me onto the bed. Though I wouldn't say the way I'm doing it is particularly appropriate. I tightly hold her lower body with my face buried in her thighs, satisfying myself with these warm and soft pillows.
ゆっくりお休みなさい。とはいえ、明日もバイトだから8時には起こしますけどね。
俺が寝たらちゃんと小春も寝るんだぞ。あと泣きそうになったら遠慮なく叩き起こせ。
Man, just the fact that he has to say that as such a regular thing really means there's a problem that should be addressed.
大丈夫ですよ。私、もう大丈夫なんです。
As if showing her strong determination, Koharu's voice doesn't waver.
先輩がずっと私を見ていてくれたから。私だけを見ていてくれたから。
Well, that's questionable.
そうやって勝手に自分で決めつけて無理やり抑え込まないようにな。
Also, that response is awful and terrible. Come on. The way I spelled everything out so bluntly wasn't just because I was embarrassed.
肝に銘じておきます。
It was also coming from a sense of guilt. Even though I promised Koharu that I would be hers for 3 days, I broke that promise briefly on the very first day.
じゃあおやすみ。
おやすみなさい。
Borrowing Koharu's lap, I shut my eyes that had been overwhelmed by heavy sleepiness, and devised tomorrow's plans in my head using whatever's left of my fading consciousness. Given that I didn't take a shower before falling asleep, I'll have to wake up at 7 a.m. at the latest so I can take one. After that, we'll make breakfast together, enjoy it together, and spend the little time we have together leisurely. Finally, we'll prepare to head out, then leave my apartment together and head for work. When that time comes, I imagine I'll be the one who will be holding Koharu's bag, which will be so heavy that it'll threaten to break my arm. After all, right now, there's no doubt that Koharu will cram whatever luggage she has in my room into her bag.
先輩。しなくていいんですか？この3日間お世話になりました。私本当に幸せでした。
Between the Koharu that I'm imagining and the Koharu who's caressing my head right now, I really can't tell which one of these is the real her. And with this sleepy imagery, we'll stop there for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Koharu's Route, and I'll be back with more to you shortly. Until then, I hope you take care. See you!